So with the bottom part done, it's now time to try to figure out how could we create the top surface of the mouse, so that the bent or arced track surface. That's actually the nice thing about this mouse, that the whole surface is not only a button to press, it's also a track surface. Before we continue, however, let's go to Material Preview and let's take a look at the scan. There are a few elements I need to point out. You can see that the top surface and the side is white, then this is gray because it is aluminum, this is plastic, and then here we have a blackish grayish thing. This is actually a hard edge and it goes inside, so there's a gap between the aluminum body and the plastic body. So just so you understand this. Further, if we take a look at it from here, we can also notice that. So when I draw a line here and here, wow, 90 degrees. Here, there, also 90 degrees. And from the side, well, that looks like it's following it, so it's tangent. And that actually gave me the clue in how to build this. All the elements to create we actually have already. So we will turn this off. Let's go to my mouse body. There we are. Go back to here and take a look at this. So this top surface, and that is actually the element we need. And when we turn on our scan one more time, there you can see if this surface would be trimmed and offset, we would get actually these edges. So how does this work? This top surface, Shift D and Escape, we make a copy, and then we can call this mouse track surface. That's kind of like what it is. We need to give this a thickness, solidify. No, it's probably way too big. 3 millimeter or 3.5. That's better. And the solidify has to be in front of, or should this be after? No, here in this case it doesn't really matter. Okay, it can be after the subdivision. Good. Auto smooth. So now we have a nice slab. But as you can see, this sticks out way too much. Well, how could we trim this? We have actually the tool for that. That's my bottom surface. Now in this model, I can see we will run into an issue here. So the edge actually has to be a little bit higher. So you, and you. Those actually, they have to go up just a little bit till there. They intersect. Maybe a tick more. Okay, good. Then we can go back to object mode. Now I select this and Boolean modifier. Select this object. There we are. We can hide this. Hide this. Hide this. And go to this view. Okay. Yeah, that's actually not working. You see how this extends. And this was my first attempt. Here actually it looks good. There it does not look good. But I was on the right track. The trick here simply is we do this. There you see now how this goes up. So why? And I really admit, it took me 2 attempts to figure this logic out. And I admit this on purpose so you understand, even when I see something, I do not necessarily always instantly can predict how something was built. I have a hunch and then I need to see if this works. And if it doesn't work, then I need to figure out, well, where's the disconnect? So the process or the idea is pretty much correct. I can reuse this top surface and give this surface a thickness, and then with this other surface do the trim. But you can see how this surface continues this direction here. And that is not what I want. I want this to be more perpendicular. So the idea here simply is we have this mirror, then we make this nice and round. And this is now the trick. Then we trim it. And then this result that I would like to offset and give this a thickness. Dang, there we are. Look at that. Perpendicular edges. So when I first decided, hey, this mouse looks nice and simple, let's do this, I was very excited. Then I started modeling it and then I realized, not so easy. Why did I do this? But I didn't want to give up and then I figured it out. So, okay. How do we do now the gap that's in between? That's actually also very easy. So we go back here to, we can actually say this here top zero initial, because we figure out at one point this is not really the initial surface what we want. But it's the easiest one to start with. So this surface here, Shift D and escape. And we will call this mouse track surface gap. Then we will give this a solidify thickness of 1 millimeter. One looks maybe a little bit big. Let's say 0.75. Complex, so it's good. Then we can hide this, select this, and here now after we added the thickness, now we will go ahead and say Boolean, and here's my gap. There it cuts actually that gap into it. Now from here again we can see, now this is all not very precise, but from a distance, particularly when we do a rendering, and this is just a study object, this is perfect. This tells me, oh, top surface, bottom surface. It's 2 pieces, and maybe this can move or click or so. Okay. Very good. So there now we have recreated beautifully the trackpad surface and the aluminum body. And then in the last video, then we will do the interface that is at the bottom.